Good morning. It is Starry. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a regular, welcome back. So, I hope you're all doing well. We have on the Starrylock side, lockpicking engineer and evil arch conservative. Over on the Starry's Lost and Found side, the first person in the house was Joe over at Michigan Gems, and then Stu's Metal Detecting, and Clark's Cove, and Roe at Digging, and Dinglehopper is here, and Ficus and Toast has joined us. I think, well, I don't know how many of those people are still here, as StreamYard claims I only have 3 people watching, so. But be that as it may, let's forge ahead. And people will rejoin or join as they will. A few weeks ago when I was at the old Rolfe Cemetery, people were asking me what some of the symbols meant, and I said I would look up my book. I have a book here called Stories in Stone. Fairly well documented, even if it is a rather thin book. Good morning, Georgia Diving Recovery, and James Randolph, and Shaz73, and Chris Capoon. If I have not been watching your videos or I missed your live streams or whatever, I'm very sorry. My internet went out on Friday morning, and Windstream had me reboot the modem again after telling me not to talk to a representative until I rebooted the modem, which I had already done, and rebooting the modem didn't do any good. And so 7 to 10 days I'll have somebody there to fix my internet. Crazy. Lockpicking's gal has made it here this morning. So I can't remember. I know that one finger up was one of the symbols that people were wondering about, and people had made a guess. Good morning, Marlon. As usual, down in the description, there is a link to not only Marlon's live, which will be happening in 2.5 hours, but Rob's at FL Thunder Digging, which is going on at the same time and will run up probably all the way until Marlon starts, maybe even a little longer. And then in about an hour, Liz at DiggingCanuck will have her live. So there's 3 alternatives, some of them concurrent, only one of them concurrent with mine, the other 2 following, but so make sure you check as many of those out as you have time for. I am down at the office today, so I actually have internet, and anyway, as I was saying, this when you're going to a cemetery, this book is fairly well researched, even if it is small. And it covers not only Western cemeteries, but also symbols and so forth of Chinese, Japanese, and so forth to give, I mean, not an exhaustive coverage, because obviously it's not a terribly thick book, but the one I remember people asking about was the hand pointing up. And the, let's see if I can position this here. The single finger up is an indication of the belief that the soul had ascended into heaven. Two fingers together, which we didn't see, the deceased is a member of the clergy. And the hand represents the hand of God. And then there is another one where you would have that symbol, which is apparently an abbreviation for Jesus Christ. So in the future, when I do cemetery tours, I'll probably bring this book along with, so that I can look things up if we happen upon the symbol we don't know. Oh, speaking of which, there is FL Thunder Digging with Rob, just started his live. Just a swinging. Good morning. And Donna Reed is here, and I am Zaxxon. Slowly filling up the house with all you fine folk. So, for those who are interested, it's called Stories in Stone, and it's written and photographed by Douglas Keister. And including the index is 288 pages, so it's a good book for reference. As you noticed in the title, it is Sunday Chat and tokens and more. I'll get to tokens in a moment. I purchased another new U.S. Postal lock because it's a little different than normal. And in order to date it, I used this reference book, which is written. This is a little more of a rough home project. Some of the pictures look like they're mimeographed, but it is, for the most part, very well researched. Everything is illustrated. As far as I know, it's only available on eBay, if I remember correctly. I bought this copy some time ago. And I don't think Jane Ingram gets a lot of sales on it because she autographs every copy that she sends out. And this was, I haven't checked to see if there's a 4th edition, but this covers a wide range, pretty much from the beginning of the U.S. Postal Service lock boxes. There is another book that Mark Garcia puts out, and that mostly handles the various padlocks, but this one's very good for the post office box doors. My only complaint about this one is I think the people who sold it shined it up a bit much. They more than cleaned it. They brassoed it or something else to make it very shiny. And what makes this unique is that most of these doors, this dates from sometime between 1910 and 1940. It's cast out of solid bronze. In the 1940s, they switched over to a zinc alloy because of the war. And then Yale, who is the manufacturer of this particular door, ceased making them. Most of the time, the lock is located in the upper part and the window in the bottom. And the reason for that is because they have the locking mechanism in toward the center, which, when you put the lock on the bottom, results in you mounting the lock by normal US standards upside down, such that the keyway is upside down. Obviously, this particular one is very flat-bitted. But it works quite nicely still. And other than being overly polished, I'd say it was a really nice piece and an example of early 20th century post office box door. Let's go back and see what people are saying. Tripwire is here. And Brian Fields is in the house. Rune International has joined us. Otherwise, I think I have everyone mentioned. So, as I was saying, I'm afraid I had my own lives on Thursday morning and Friday morning. Friday afternoon, I actually made the video for the shout out that I put out on Friday afternoon on the series I call Road to 500 on Starry's Lost and Found. But I posted that early in the morning so that it would reveal itself at the appropriate time. And after that, my internet went out. So it has been very odd. And Rob at Rocky Mountain Life Prospecting is here. If any of you do not have moderator status, so you can check each other out, make sure you let me know, because I am in-house today, so I can actually change that. Yeah, it looked like a beautiful morning out there, Joe. I will try to sometime today, while I'm down using the office's internet, try to watch that after the fact. I'm sorry that I missed it. So let's get to the other part of the title. We are 15 minutes in. I am not at, normally when I'm at work and using the works internet, I am over in manufacturing, but the air conditioning is malfunctioning and that building is in the mid 80s. And I didn't really feel like spending an hour sitting there in the mid 80s and trying to make this video. I'm a creature of comfort, I guess. So, 3 weeks ago, I was over in Spencer, and that was before my accident. And I checked the Coinstar and Spencer. They have the Coinstar and Spencer located in the customer service area of Walmart. And the 3 times I have checked it, customer service was not at all busy. The first 2 times that I checked it, the women that were working in customer service watched me like a hawk. And then this last time I was there, they said that that was their job and they'd appreciate it if I would stop snooping around in Coinstar unless I was going to properly use it. So apparently they're claiming territory. But the visit to the antique store went rather well. We've got a bag of 31 tokens. They're a mix of transit tokens and other tokens. Bring a nickel. Yeah, that'll convince them. Abandoned and Forgotten Whales is here. The first token I wanted to show you is one no one is going to find metal detecting except by chance. That could be. That could be. This Missouri tax token is made out of plastic. Twig 1 UK has joined us. It is not my usual nature to be that rude, Marlon. I don't think they'd appreciate it. And I think I'd be too embarrassed to say anything. A lock-picking engineer who is over on Starrylock is saying that they are looking for a pin pointer and have $300 to spend. This is $300 Australian, as he is located in South Australia. So I don't know what prices run for. If Dirt Fishing Mish was here or some of the other detectorists I know of from Australia, maybe they could answer that, but I don't know. Legless Lockpicker has joined us, as well as Blistering Barnacles and Magnets. We are at a combined total of 23 people. This one feels like aluminum. Tax on purchase, 10 cents or less. See it my way, Shane is here. So we have another tax token. And this one is for the state of Washington. For any amount 10 cents or less. As I said, this particular bag is a mix. The last time I picked up a bag, it had tokens and then a smaller inner bag with the transit tokens, so they had actually separated them. But I have not done this in advance, even though I've had this for 3 weeks. So. Yeah, I don't know of any way to do that, unfortunately. Lockpicking's gal said that she wished we could see both channels, and without, I guess on a computer you could set up 2 tabs, one, and you could silence one of the 2 broadcasts and flip between them so that you could talk on both of them. If you're using a phone, I don't know of any way that you could really do that. But on a computer, you could have 2 tabs, I think. That would work. And this is a transit token for the Austin Bus Line Incorporated. Good for 1 fare. And the cutout actually makes an A for Austin. Yes, it would be very hard to switch between tabs on a phone. Yes, phones don't have tabs. This one's also good for 1 fare. And it is. And it's also an Austin bus line. Apparently a bunch of Texans, assuming Austin, Texas. It could be a different Austin. Somehow 2 different era bus tokens from Austin ended up in an antique store in Iowa. Silver King Novelty Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Where I am getting them, they're only costing me, I think, about $8 for 30 of them. So gives you a whole bunch of them to look at. And I need to get a book with Mylar sleeves, I think, and little Mylar pockets. Start storing these. Yeah, people do collect them. I don't know how much, though. Lease and profit. Sharing basics. Machine lease on profit. Sharing basis. So I would assume that this is the novelty company is selling some sort, well, leasing out for purchase a certain number of machines of some sort. It could be video games, or this could have been foosball machines. Depends on what the Silver King Novelty Company had that they were leasing out for. And then it says leasing for on profit. So I guess they're not selling them to you. They're leasing it to you based on a percentage of your profit. And Deej has joined us. Good morning, Deej. I am taking a look at a bag of tokens that I picked up 3 weeks ago. 41925. Could be a zip code, but that's all it says here. Good for 5 cents in trade. I assume the 5-digit code is numbers is a zip code, which tells you where this is good for 5 cents in trade, but I don't know. Well, that is very cool to find tokens while you're out detecting. That is awesome. And Looter 8 has joined us. It's another zip code. If that is a zip code. 15197. Good for 5 cents in trade. I'm going to have to look up and on my computer here and see 15197. And that is not coming up as a zip code, so. Good for 1 fare. Detroit and Canada Tunnel Company. So I guess at one point, if you want to travel between Detroit and Canada in the tunnel, you needed this token. It might be a legless lockpicker suggested maybe the code on the tokens were a code to keep track of them. And that's a possibility, as they didn't turn out to be zip codes. There's another one. Now that calls into question the code to keep track of them, because there's 2 of them with the same 5-digit code. Yeah, I didn't know there was a tunnel between Canada and Detroit either, but you know, I haven't been to Detroit since I was 17, which would make that 43 years ago. Springfield City Lines. Springfield. Is that Ohio? Yeah, it does say Ohio. So that seems to be a transit token for Springfield, Ohio. Springfield is kind of an odd order for it, though. Interesting. Detroit was a lot more alive when I was there, and that would have been 1978 or 79 than it is now. Just Petty. It's an octagon-shaped token. Good for 5 cents in trade. My Road to 500 video on Starry's Lost and Found was for Teresa the Treasure Hunter. And she has been trapped slightly below 300. My shout out got her slightly over 300. So if anybody in the Treasure fam wants to either check out my video and go to the links there, use the name I just gave you to search for her, and give her some subs, that would be wonderful. And Liz from DiggingCanuck is here. And she is only 30 minutes away from her live. I put a promotional for hers on my community tab and down in the description on Starry's Lost and Found. There's also a link to her live this morning. And Looter 8. Treasure Hunter says, Liz, the best Canadian in the country. This one's from Wichita. And good for 1 fare. Yes, I agree. They are well worth the money. Been very interesting. It's another 5-digit code. That's the 4th one. And a new code is 35054. Very cool. Congratulations, Abandoned and Forgotten Whales, for hitting 500. Good for 1 package of mints. Well, that one's, the others were worth 5 cents in trade. This one's worth 1 package of mints. And it's another Washington tax token. Unlike the Missouri one, both of these, they must be from the same era. They're both made out of aluminum or aluminium, if you prefer. Tripwire ran his GoPro battery out this morning and is recharging. making up for all that lost time he spent with the Sharks. Let me see. Metal detecting with Pete is getting close to 500, but Stu has not reached 100. So if somebody with moderator status, which should be everyone, could post Stu's. Oh, Stu is here. You should be able to just take his comment with haha, thanks, Looter, and hit go to my channel and go check out his channel. And if you're not subscribed, do so. Liz is stepping out to go get ready for her live, which is coming up in 23 or 24 minutes. Unlike the previous Missouri tax token, this one is not made out of plastic. It seems to be aluminum or aluminum. Sales tax. This is very faded, but you can make out the shape of the state of Missouri, the word Missouri, sales tax receipt. And it does not tell you the amount. And it's another Washington tax token made out of aluminum. This one's in fairly good shape, good for one fare. You have the symbol of a bus in the center. And this is another one, Springfield City Lines Incorporated, and the word Ohio down there at the bottom, separated by dots. Oops, sorry about hitting the camera there. Issued by Street. RY period COS period. And then our destination has been burned. And I can't read it. So that one will have to remain a mystery. I am missing out in conversation, I can tell, presenting these tokens, as I am getting bits and pieces of it. It's the benefit of rewatching it, for me at least. Samuel Cohn, President, Market Street. Maybe that's RV Company, I'm not sure. Good for one fare, San Francisco. Does not sound like Rune International is having a good morning. A lot of people are saying, ouch. Sorry to hear about whatever your bad news was. I'll catch that on the replay, as I'd have to go back here, and I'm looking at mixed chat, so it may be a while before I find you. It only takes time to sort these tiny wafers because they're about 0.5 USD each, and I need about 50 for my project. That'll keep you busy. It's kind of a cool one. Not sure if that's for tram or what the token was good for one fare on in San Francisco. Tripwire needs coffee. I believe Ro was making coffee earlier for her and Joe, so maybe you can get in on that. I'm not sure how they're transporting the coffee, but nope, well, that answers that. Joe was, doors are open, come on in, I'll have mugs cleaned in a minute. New York City Transit Authority, good for one fare. We have NYC. I don't think their subway system will accept that right now. I don't know how old some of these are. Good for 5 cents in trade, and it's another 5-digit code. Not sure if the bag of mints is better or the 5 cents. I certainly wish I had better use of my time on Thursday and Friday. I got magnet fishing and I did some metal detecting, but I did not get to Harrison Park. And Harrison Park a week ago had dozens of people camping there for an event at the Lutheran Church. And then this last Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, Ragbri, which is the annual bicycle ride across Iowa sponsored by the Des Moines Register, had even more people. I mean, those tents were packed in there. And that's just one of many locations where people were camping. So there's probably a lot of surface finds if I had had the time. But it's not even 9 a.m. and it's over 80 outside already. So we're in for some scorchers. Mints are always better so you can throw. You don't like. So that's a good alternative for mints. Although they may be confused as to whether or not you're throwing because you don't like them or because you think they have bad breath. Oh, there's another one with a 5-digit code, and this one is good for a package of mints. And there's the original code, so that's the third one of 41925. I have learned my body does not adjust well to the heat, even with water. It is far better in cooler weather. More people actually die from heat exhaustion and heat stroke than most other weather conditions. It's not to say that it's, being stuck in a hurricane is probably bad, but they're not as frequent as hot days, especially, I guess, eastern Oregon and western Montana is in the triple digits. So there's a lot of hot spots in the U.S. right now, and the UK is only now, sounds like they've somewhat cooled off. And Lowell Forbes is oops, late as usual. Or so he says. I assume he's over on Starrylock. We're going to have to wrap up here soon, so I'll probably finish this bag. And when it's hot, if you stop sweating, stop and call an ambulance. Yeah, that's a good sign of heat stroke. This one's been affected by inflation. It's not 5 cents in trade. It is 25 cents in trade and is a new number code. I'm going to have to do some research and see if I can figure out what these are. Good for 5 cents in trade, and that's the 41925. I think that's the fourth, maybe fifth one of those I've had. Whatever you do, don't throw cold water on them. You'll shock their system. Take their clothes off, put them in a cool area, and have them ship. I don't know, Lowell. They've had the 5-digit code on one side. Most of them have had a trade for a certain number amount, usually 5 cents. I've had 125, but some of them are packages of mints. So, and sip lukewarm water. Good for 5 cents package of mints. Well, that one combines the two. Lady Lucifer has joined us. Thank you thank you. Have enjoyed seeing the tokens. We don't have many in the UK. Well, welcome, and thank you for okay, this does not have a code. It's very similar on this side, but it says 5 cent package of mints. And then it says all quality mints. Ran out of space. Sip cool water. I assume you're talking about responding to heat. $20039. What are we going to get? We're going to get a package of mints, or are we going to get 5 cents? Or maybe the 25 center. We get 5 cents in trade. We are almost done. We are at the 50-minute mark, and we don't want to overstep our bounds. Far better to send you over to Liz's place or to Rob's and join his in progress. Miami Transit Company. And that's what it says on both sides. Good for 5 cents in trade. And the numbers this time are far bigger in the token, but maybe the numbers are the same because this token is smaller than the others were. And one last one. Good for 5 cents in trade. And another 41925. That is my tokens for the day. The next time I do an in-house, I'll maybe have an open floor. Starry, I know why all those mint tokens keep coming up. They're trying to tell us we all have bad coffee breath. Well, that could be. It's mostly what people were talking about. I've looked. One of them started with a 1, and it doesn't seem to correspond to a zip code. I was wondering the same thing at first, because it sort of makes sense, but Donna Reed says she does not have coffee breath. She has not had her coffee yet. Next time, there are 50 plus transit tokens in here, and we'll cover those, and maybe I'll open the floor to let some people on. Either way, we have to get ready to wrap up here. There are links down in the description. Rob only posted his video this morning, but I do have a link down in the description for his live that is going on right now. I do not have a post on my community page for his, though. I do have a link there, though, for Digging Canucks and for Marlins. And as Tripwire is back and survived Shark Week, you know, he'll be there as the world's best co-host. So if you're interested in the Treasure Fan, make sure you head on over to any of those 3. You can promote my channel by saying Starry Raid. If you're not interested in those, Saturday morning seems to be the morning for lives in Locksport. First with the Lockpicking Patrolman, and then with Jason at SE Lock and Key. That is all I have for today. And if you are interested in a contest, I believe you can still watch last week's live over on Mara Video. If you've not done this, and in the comments, you can leave how many coins you think they pulled up. You know, watch the video, it makes sense. Yep. Tripwire sums it up nicely. Over to Digging Canucks. And then to the creators meet and greet at 11:30 at Eastern time on Mara Video. You do have the alternative of heading over to Rob. Links are all down in the description. Oh, you cannot pick a number. They've already chosen the winner. So don't listen to me, listen to Marlon. You cannot put in an amount. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday morning. And we will see you soon.